child away. Jon understood innately there could be no agony greater in life than losing a child. At first he stood there, horrified with the others, as the woman screamed. Someone rushed off and found 2 police officers who happened to be walking the beat past the cemetery. Jon wound up shoved back by the growing crowd, but he was tall for his age, almost 5'10" already. He could clearly see the devastated mother, hysterical as she talked to the father. Police tried to calm her and figure out what had happened. The family had been in the cemetery, the woman managed to tell them. Tracy was 10, old enough to read the gravestones and take a few steps away. She had been right there, and then she was gone. While Jon stood in the back of the crowd, he heard a man say, "Now, one of you must see. Now, if you don't stop him now, he'll have her. Get to that van. Block the road. Don't let him drive away." He turned to look. There stood a man in traditional Puritan garb, from his black hat to his white socks and navy vest and breeches. Jon stared at him. "If you know something, you have to tell the cops." The man looked at him, his eyes widening. "You heard me?" "Of course I heard you. Tell the cops what you know," Jon said impatiently. "Someone took a little girl. Go help." The man shook his head. He strode toward Jon and took his shoulders. Jon never knew if it was the feel or the lack of feeling when the man seemed to touch him, or the sound of his voice as raspy as the wind in a nor'easter. Or maybe it was just the chill that swept through his body. But he suddenly knew the man facing him was a ghost. He was a dead man who hadn't walked the streets of Salem for hundreds of years. "You tell the police," the man urged him. "Tell them you saw a man sweep the girl away and out on the street by the old house. Do it now. You saw him dragging her to a white van with an ad for a dog grooming business, and he'll get away with her if they don't act immediately." For a moment, Jon stood frozen. The dead man couldn't shake him. His touch was like a breeze. But then it seemed that he did. Jon burst into action. He forced his way through the crowd and over to a police officer. At first, it appeared that the cop didn't want to hear him or believe him. But another policeman said, "Sweet Jesus, Matt, let's get to that van. We got nothing else." "Ah, come on. The kid didn't see anything. No one saw anything. The little girl just ran away. She's hiding somewhere. Jon didn't wait for more. He leaped the wall of the cemetery and ran across the graveyard to the house and street behind. And there was the van, just as the ghost said. Jon catapulted himself toward the van when he realized the driver was just about to take off. He caught hold of the rear door handle, wrenching hard just as the driver tried to veer into the street. His feet flew off the ground. He wouldn't let go, even though he felt a surge of terror. By then, the cops had caught up. One of them jumped in front of the van. The driver didn't slow down and seemed as though he was about to bulldoze over them. But then a shot rang in the air. Jon wrenched the door open. A little girl was lying on the floor of the van, unconscious, next to another girl, one who... He closed his eyes. He'd never seen anything so horrible. She was decomposing. She looked like something that might have been a prop at a Halloween haunted house, except that she was real. Jon fell away from the van. He wasn't needed anymore. Cops were swarming the van. More sirens rang out nearby. Someone was calling an ambulance. His own family surrounded him. "Oh my God, Jon," his mother exclaimed. She wrapped him in a hug as though he were still a toddler. In the following days, they let him know repeatedly that they were proud of him. They couldn't understand his reticence to talk to reporters or even to accept thanks. He had surely saved a life. But he had also seen the other girl, the one who hadn't been saved. He was also embarrassed. He didn't want to be hailed as a hero. He wasn't. A dead man had come to him and told him what to do. The dead man was a hero, but it was hard for a dead man to accept any acclaim, and it was hard for Jon to accept what he'd seen. Jon lay awake, night after night, wondering if he had really seen the man in Puritan clothes, if he'd been mistaken, if it had been an actor. Years later, he again met the man who had helped him, the dead man. By then, Jon was looking at sports scholarships to just about any college he might want to attend. It wasn't anywhere near Essex Street, the cemetery, a museum, or the memorial. He had just spent a good day at Dead Horse Beach with friends and was zipping up his backpack when he heard a